Sleepless nights filled with fright, filled with ache and loss of might, filled with sweat and cold shivers, filled with pain and it really withers. Enough pain to demoralize a man, hard to count the time, yet it's hard to withstand. The pain that one feels as he lets go of what he loves, hard to understand the withdrawals from drugs. Be that as it may, it's possible to listen, so that one could try to understand what it's like to be imprisoned. Perspective is subjective so long our stories have been neglected. For so long every addict has yearned to just be respected, only to be rejected. Submissive to society's concepts, acceptive of its labeling context. Every addict believes they're worthless due to society's superiority complex. Objects, they just see us as tokens of conquest, tokens of opportunity, they just see us as prospects. I'm sick of it. Back to scheduled programming, sobriety in society, happy smiles to keep them smiling. Everyone loves a happy ending. But is it truly progress? When I get a "I'm so proud of you for changing, but disgraced if I tried but died in the process." Cold sweats. 90 degrees, but I'm shivering, this is a bold step. Reminiscing why I started, I'm flustered with regret. Secrets. Battling within myself, I'm steady on defense. It's me versus me, but I'm restlessly weakened. Am I weak then? If I'm losing but trying to repent, seeking to change my ways, but it's harder to reset. Let me reset. Let's go back to our roots. No more running from these problems, this time to face the truth. Wasn't the brightest kid, or at least that's what I was told. Maybe I was smarter, but I believed the dream that I was sold. Or maybe I was good for nothing, maybe I had it coming. Or maybe I was just a kid acting out, I didn't see what I was becoming. Maybe I was cursed, a freak accident by birth. Accepting that I was an embarrassment made me feel like the worst. Faced tribulation since I was young, is it part of who I become? Maybe I started problems cause it's the only thing I could get done. A troubled child since a pubescent, I remember fights as an adolescent. My past wasn't the most pleasant, but I didn't understand that until the present. Mama was really struggling, 6 kids, single mom hustling. I remember lights out every other month, sleeping in the living room, never wondering. Playing with the candles and flashlights, we used our empty soda bottles in our sword fights. And while we made the best of our struggles, our mother was tearing up every other night. It took a little while to understand, our mother took the role of a woman and a man. Raising us and struggling to provide, she tried her best to keep us in a trance. EBT to keep us full and Section 8 to keep us fooled. Government assistance was our provision. I didn't even notice that until middle school. I remember realizing that I was poor because I wore the same uniform every day. And someone asked me if that was the same uniform that I was wearing yesterday. Same with the EBT, you swipe a card and get food free. So when someone told me having free food made me poor, it only momentarily confused me. As I started to pick up the pieces and learned that we were fighting life on defense, my confusion slowly turned into anger. Getting into trouble only made me feel decent. Hard to explain how that shifted to my drug use or what made me so overzealous. Was it the want for love and affection that caused me to be so rebellious? Or maybe it was because I never learned to cope. As kids, you're taught to only cling on to hope, as if those feelings of anger and sadness don't linger. Maybe that's the reason I took my first toke. Or maybe it was because my father wasn't around. I blamed my mother when he moved out of town. We felt like the richest kids when he would come around, but when he left, the struggle came to drag us back down. It was almost like we lived our life in 2 portions, one for an hour and one for a second. So we blamed our mother for our misfortunes, not noticing she was trying her best to make our hell into heaven. I love my mother. I came to realize later that she did the best that she could do. But in that same time frame, my hatred slowly shifted towards my father's absence too. Why did he leave and where did he go? Why can't he see that his kids need him the most? What is the reason for this feeling and how does it relate to my season? In it, I'm trying to find the meaning. My thoughts are often fleeting. Withdrawals aching, my body shaking. Through this pain, I'm learning patience. Through my anger, I'm starting to break it. And if I'm not mistaken, breaking points often birth recreation or destruction. I'm reluctant. My body isn't that toughened. The plug's calling my line saying he just re-upped it. It's luck. No, it's fate. I must make this mistake. I can handle myself just one taste. And after it, I'll start this process after today. I'll change. I just need some time. And the process goes on, so I often get stuck in time. And when I don't, My heart and mind usually fight to take my side. It's like a never-ending cycle, but I'll break it in due time. Just one more high, just one more time. The fleeting thoughts from an addict's mind.